I'm in the north central UP with a group of hunters and their beagles. We're going hare hunting.
Our fathers rabbit hunted together back in the day. Got us rabbit hunting. That's all we used to do, high school. It's good to see we got our kids involved in it somewhat.
And we'll take a look at what this family does when they're not hunting hares.
Milking cows is a family operation. It takes the whole family to run a dairy farm.
9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. .906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. That's what deer hunting sounds like. That's the sound of grouse and woodcock hunting. And that is the unmistakable sound of rabbit or hare hunting. Each year in Michigan, more than 80,000 hunters hit the woods in pursuit of rabbits and hares.
There you go.
I connected up with a group of hunters in the north central UP for a day of hare hunting.
Bill's paralleling. He's got Squirt and Scout. Here's what we're doing. We're out here, we're chasing ducks. Okay, we've got a rabbit running. They lost her right now, they're checking it, and then they're gonna check it, they're gonna pick up on it. Hopefully they pick up another, and hopefully they run 3 by. Get all 3. We'll see. Stay tuned for more. So these dogs came to a loss. They'll pick up on another one, but we gotta get to this opening over here. We jumped this rabbit when we walked in here. Come on, Blue. Roscoe, he's 14 years old. Here you go, Roscoe, here you go. Well, Blue, well, we went hare hunting for, I don't know, since he was 2. He's 14 now. He's an old beagle. Bring him back out. Well, you're never too old to get out in the woods.
This is my buddy Dan here. We grew up rabbit hunting. Our fathers rabbit hunted together back in the day. Got us rabbit hunting. That's all we used to do, high school.
Rabbit hunt, goose hunt, duck hunt,
Yep.
deer hunt.
It's good to see we got our kids involved in it somewhat.
.906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Blades Bait and Tackle, your hard water connection to Little Beatty Knock.
We got a little bowl here. We got some guys that are going to go around the bowl. We got some guys posted up along this trail here. We're hoping to get a hare to come out. We got some guys here that's never hare hunted before, so new experience for them.
Yeah, even squeaking of your snowshoes, man, they'll hear you.
They're 2 different species, for one thing. A hare turns white in the wintertime, where a cottontail stays brown all year long. And typically we don't have very many cottontails this far north in the UP. They don't have the running gear to stay on top of the snow to survive. And so the predators get them pretty easily. It's a lot different hunting. Cottontails, they sit a lot tighter. They don't run as far. They typically, they'll hole up. If they can find a hole, they'll go in a hole. A hare will not go in a hole. I've seen them climb trees on a deadfall, but they won't go in a hole. They'll go in a circle just like a cottontail, but it's just a lot bigger circle. And this time of year, in March hare, it's breeding time for them. So you get a buck hare that came in from another cedar swamp a mile away and breeding some does, and if you jump him, the dogs will take you for a ride all the way back to his home territory, and that could be a long run. So a lot of guys, they don't hunt in the March, and the snow conditions could be a lot more challenging in March too, because you get a lot of ice. Like today, we got a lot of ice on the snow. It's really hard for the dogs to smell a rabbit. You got to have a dog with a really good nose. The hare hunting, it's a lot like deer hunting. They can see color, they can see movement. Just taking your safety off, they'll turn, go the other way. They're not concerned about the dogs as much as they are you. They're really concerned about people. So you really got to be quiet.
So if they get on a rabbit, they're going to make a short circle, real short.
If you turn the rabbit hard, a lot of times, they're 100 yards in front of the dog. So a lot of times they'll run back on their tracks for 50 yards or 30 yards and then turn. And then when the dogs come up to that, they just keep going, and they don't know any better to turn on that track. It's called overshooting the track, and it's sometimes that they lose a rabbit that way. If the dog's not smart enough to go back and look for it. Takes a good dog around here.
Stray?
We'll be back to finish up our hunt in a bit. Hunting hares is not the only thing the Pierman family does together. Here's a look at what it takes to be a dairy farmer in the UP. It's 5 a.m. and it's cold. The thermometer says 15 degrees below zero. It's a great morning to stay in bed, or at least indoors. But as the saying goes, those cows ain't gonna milk themselves. So each and every morning, the Pierman family gets out of bed and meets at the barn, where they are greeted by a friendly herd of waiting milk cows.
Well, the first thing you do in the morning is you sanitize the lines, get ready to milk. Takes about 5-10 minutes. The water's coming through these lines, going down, going through the jitter cups, the claws they call it, that go onto the cow. Make sure that it's nice and clean for this morning's milking.
It's a routine the Piermans know well. The cows know it pretty well too.
So the first thing, she's going to dip all 4 teats, 4 quarters on a cow. It's like a surgical iodine. Kills the bacteria, any bacteria that's on the teats. And then she's going to go back through and strip the cows. And that's going to stimulate the milk letdown. Get ready to put the milkers on. The next thing she's going to do is wipe, make sure everything's nice and clean and dry. Dry is most important. She's going to put the milkers on. This cow here probably puts out 75 pounds a day of milk. We have some cows that'll be coming in, they're 100 pounds a day. 4 minutes on average per cow. So the milk on the farm can only be on the farm for 2 days. So today is a pickup. Every other day we get picked up. It'll be in Gilbert's by noon and on your shelves by tomorrow. Takes off the milkers and she's dipping it. That is a winter dip. Got a lot of aloe in it. Keeps the teats from freezing. Most important in this kind of weather. This is a grade A operation. There's no class B in Michigan, so grade A means that this milk is fluid milk that can be sold as fluid milk. So we're inspected a lot harder, and the quality has to be right up there. It's tested every other day. As you can see, milking cows is a family operation. It takes the whole family to run a dairy farm. This isn't my only job. I own a construction company too, so in the summertime we're working 8 hours off the farm to keep the farm. It's hard to make a living milking 35, 40 cows, which it shouldn't be. Back in the day, a family could make a living milking 40 cows, which was nice. So maybe someday it'll get back to that.
Milking cows in the winter is a little bit more of a challenge because it's colder. You don't want to wake up when it's cold outside or when it's a blizzard out to drive to the farm. And it's harder to move snow. The cows are a little bit more cold. It is what it is. That's why we live in the UP, because you still love being in the winter and you love being outside and snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, but you still want to farm and hang out with your cows.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Rapid River Knife Works, home of Michigan's largest custom knife factory showroom.
The pulsators pulsate at a different rate for the front to the back. Back quarters hold more milk, the front quarters hold less milk. So you want them to milk out evenly. The less time you can have the milk around the cow, the healthier the cow is, the less chance of bacteria getting into the cow. Back ones actually milk faster than the front ones. The front ones are slower. Every one of these breeds have different components in their milk. The Holstein is known for milk production. They put out a lot of milk, but they don't have the butter fat and the solids for making cheese. So us being a smaller dairy farm, we try to go for our components, they call it. A higher butter fat, a higher solid. And the Jerseys, milking Shorthorns, Brown Swiss have a lot higher components. If you can't get it in volume, you got to get it in quality. This one here doesn't like to put her head through unless you escort her personally. She wants a personal invitation, so she'll just sit there and wait. The other thing that's pretty cool about doing these dairy cows is seeing the bloodlines. My daughter, and especially my boy, really involved in the genetics of it. You can see the mother and the next, the daughter and the grandma, and see how they produce milk. And it gets really exciting to see the next generation come in, see how they produce milk. We're going to check this cow for mastitis. What we're actually looking for is a white blood cell count. If it's got an elevated white blood cell count, that affects the life of the milk, the shelf life of the milk. What we're looking for here is this milk is going to turn to like pudding. The higher the somatic cell count, the thicker the milk. But she appears to be pretty good. So most farms, the tails are docked right here. But being a Gilbert farm, we can't dock the tails. Give them something to swat flies with.
Our milk gets picked up every other day and gets shipped to Gilbert's up in Marquette, and then it's pasteurized or flash heated, and then bottled or made into ice cream, and then put on the shelves for the consumer. There's only 66 dairy farms in the UP, and there's only 2 in Marquette County, us, and then DeVos over in Scandia. So Gilbert's is all UP milk. All the milk in the UP only goes to Gilbert's for grade A. We can't ship to Wisconsin. If we ship to Wisconsin, then we have to be a grade B, which it would be butter or other types of substances or powdered milk. Grade A goes to Gilbert's and then is pasteurized and then consumed. When the milkman comes, he takes a sample of our milk from our tank, and then when he gets to Gilbert's, each sample gets analyzed for bacteria count, antibiotics, and the quality of the milk. And then if one of those samples is deemed unsatisfactory, Gilbert's will dump the whole truck, and then that farmer has to purchase the truck.
We're ready to start pumping.
We can't use any antibiotics or growth hormones. So if a cow gets sick and we do have to use antibiotics, they have to be milked last, and they have to go in a whole different system for at least 3 days. And then we have to do what's called a SNAP test. We test their milk for antibiotics. It has to get sent to Gilbert's, and they have to prove that it's antibiotic free. And then when we get those test results back, then they can go back in the tank. So it's pretty rare that we do use an antibiotic, just so the cow can still be actively producing and be put in the tank. We can't use any growth hormones. They can in Wisconsin, but Gilbert's has deemed no growth hormones in your milk. So our cows are naturally producing the amount that they produce. They're not added anything to it. So all the milk that you get from a cow and you get from Gilbert's is pure of antibiotics. It's pure of any growth hormones. And the cows have been treated very nicely. We get inspected every 6 months. They come out and inspect the health of our cows, the health of our equipment. We get a schematic cell and a bacteria count on every tank that gets picked up, so we know exactly what is in our milk and what's going on with our milk. So we're gonna feed the calves. We milk the cows, and the cow's milk we put into a bottle for our week-old calf. And then these 2 calves are 2 months old, and you can tell their difference. This one's a Holstein, so it's way bigger, but they're about a week apart in age. And then this one is a Jersey, and she's way smaller, and that's just the breed difference. They get grain every morning, and then they get their milk. And then Rory, our week-old calf, and she is a Holstein Jersey cross. This one's Melody, and Melody's a sweetheart.
So what does it take to be a dairy farmer in the UP? Well, a lot of work. All of that happens every morning before the sun breaks the horizon. And again every night.
The thing I love about dairy cows is I get to be with my family. I get to educate others about the importance of drinking milk and the importance of cow health. I love hanging out with the cows. That's my favorite part. I can hang out with the cows all day long and never have a bad day, either with the calves or with the cows. I love the hard work. I love the ambience of being in the barn. I love milking cows either with my best friend loves to come milk cows, my husband will come milk cows with me, and I think it's a great time just to chill and relax, and you get to do something that you absolutely love and share that with others.
I'm not really the milker, I'm the equipment operator, so I just do all the haymaking, clean the barn, make sure everything's running right, so kind of a mechanic too. So that's what I do on the farm, and that's what I like doing. I like operating and running equipment, working on stuff, taking stuff apart, putting it back together, figuring out how it works. That's what's fun to me, so it gives you a lot of opportunity to work on a lot of stuff, and that's what I like about dairy farming. And then being together with your family at the end of the day is always a good thing. So
It's a challenge every day. Every day it's something new. Sometimes it's pretty extreme, sometimes it isn't. It's the little wins that keeps you going. It's 7 days a week, 5 and 5, no vacations. But it's rewarding. You're close to your family. You got to work with your family every day. You got to count on them. Yeah, and every day your kids are with you. Some people discuss things around at the dinner table. At night we discuss our problems while we're milking cows. It keeps the family close, and I like that.
906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by L&M Fleet Supply, proudly serving the Northland for over 30 years.
Here's the attack plan. We got tall trees, thick over there. There's a nice little swale, nice little bowl. We're gonna drop down, get on a rabbit, run it this way, and hopefully circles it back this way. So we're trying to get them on 2 different rabbits, get a double going. We'll see how things go. Let's stir it up. You already ran through here?
Come on, Lou, let's go. Here you go.
So the dogs are pushing on a line right now. And when they break down and they're not barking, they're scent checking. So they're trying to pick up where that rabbit went. So the dogs are running this way. Well, the rabbit goes this way. The dogs keep going this way. Now they're looking over here. Well, the rabbit went this way. So then they go, and then they pick up on it, and then they run a straight line towards it. Main thing is keeping that rabbit moving. So the snow conditions, we got small-legged dogs. Sink down a little bit. They're getting worn down. They're running a little bit slow today, but at least they're keeping it moving. Sink conditions, not optimal, but good. So we'll see how many we get today.
Got him. You get it? Starting to turn color already. Brown in the summer. Those feet. About as long as my finger, some of them. It's a smaller rabbit. That helps them keep them on top of the snow. They never even touch it.
Deer, turkey, grouse and bear, waterfowl rabbits and snowshoe hare. All words that take on a whole new meaning when followed by the word hunting. Camaraderie, friendships, and memories. Reliving the old ones and making new ones. Each trip to the woods, honing our skills for the next trip to the woods. And it's of course being in the outdoors. Not at all a bad place to spend time with your family and friends. Yeah, hunting is the pursuit of game and all that stuff. And of course it's a tradition. But we don't hunt because it's a tradition. It's a tradition because we hunt.
Our fathers rabbit hunted together back in the day. Got us rabbit hunting. It's good to see we got our kids involved in it somewhat.
And as long as we continue to pass it on, it'll be what we do, and never be something we used to do. Feel free to join us on Facebook or visit us at 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us next week for another adventure right here on 906 Outdoors.